Here's 5 things the Lakers need to do this offseason. First, they need to get a starting center. Jackson Hayes just isn't getting it done. The guy's supposed to be holding down the middle, but his numbers are screaming for help. He averaged just under 6 rebounds and not even 1 block per game. That's from a starting center. In the NBA, in the year 2025, I mean, come on. The Lakers finished 25th in defensive rebounding rate at 70.3%. That's not just bad, that's bordering on irresponsible. You can't contend when you're giving up second chances like it's a clearance sale. And the paint defense? Let's just say it was more like an open house. Opponents were scoring over 50 points per game inside. That's 22nd in the league. It only got worse when the postseason rolled around. Rudy Gobert put up 27 points and 24 boards in Game 5 alone. That wasn't a playoff game, that was a crime scene. Without Anthony Davis anchoring the paint, the Lakers were cooked. The front court had the presence of a suggestion. And Luka, the guy's out here dragging defenders all over the floor, but he needs someone who can finish the play. Back in Dallas, he had Lively shooting nearly 75% on lobs. Daniel Gafford was at 70. That's what happens when you give Luka a rim runner. The Lakers, on the other hand, ranked 18th in alley-oop frequency, just a little over 2 per game. That's not going to cut it for someone who eats in the pick and roll like Luka does. They also gave up 64.3% shooting within 5 feet of the rim, 5th worst in the entire league. That's not a small drop. Back in their title year, they were 3rd best at 58.9%. You can't fake rim protection. You either have a guy who can stop drivers and challenge shots, or you don't. Right now, they don't. Opponents actually shot 8.4% better at the rim against the Lakers than the league average. That's not a leak in the defense, that's a broken pipe. So how do you fix this? You go get a real center, a starting one, someone who doesn't just show up for cardio. One of the most intriguing options is Nick Claxton from Brooklyn. He's putting up over 10 points, grabbing 7 boards, and swatting shots at a steady clip. His field goal percentage on rolls to the rim is almost 79%. That's near the top for all centers. And he's switchable. He can guard 1 through 5. That's massive when you're trying to keep up with the pace of today's game. The cost? Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and a 2031 first. Not cheap, but not a fire sale either. Another great option is Walker Kessler from Utah. This guy's a block machine. 2.5 per game. He's averaging over 12 rebounds and 11 points, shooting 64%. His block rate is 6.4%. That's not just elite, that's ridiculous. He's also got an 18.3% rebound rate, that's top 10. And he's on a rookie scale deal. That means you get elite defense at a discount. It'd cost Dalton Connect in that same 2031 pick. Painful, but managed. Then there's Mitchell Robinson from New York. Per 36 minutes, he's grabbing over 9 rebounds and blocking close to 3 shots. But the real draw, his offensive rebound. His rate is 18.9%, best in the league. You want second chances? He'll get them. He's the guy who turns missed shots into more possessions. And all it takes is Jared Vanderbilt and that distant pick. That's solid value for a rebounding anchor. Of course, the Lakers aren't exactly swimming in cap space. They're $36 million over. That means they've got to get creative. They've got a few pieces they can move. Reeves at $12 million, Hachimura at $18.2, Vanderbilt at $10.7, Connect at 3.2, and they've still got that unprotected 2031 first rounder and a 2026 pick swap in the bag. If they're smart, they'll use those in a package deal to bring in the right big. Sign and trade options like Miles Turner or Clint Capella could be in play. You match salaries without gutting depth. But the Lakers need more than a warm body. They need someone who fits with Luka's game and can anchor the paint on the other end. That's why 3-team deals could work too. Guys like Gafford or Claxton might be harder to get directly, but you loop in a 3rd team and it gets easier. What's clear is that standing pat just isn't an option. This is a team built around a star. Luka's not just the engine. He's the wheels, the steering wheel, and the GPS. But even a Ferrari needs solid tires. Without a reliable center, the whole thing wobbles. They're already in the red on defense and rebounding. Every team in the West that matters, from Minnesota with Gobert to Denver with Jokic, to San Antonio with Wembanyama, has a tower in the middle. The Lakers are trying to survive with a guy who barely cracks 6 rebounds a game. If they want to give Luka a real shot at making noise in the playoffs, they've got to fix this now. The best fit long-term is probably Kessler. He brings elite rim protection, boards, and a contract that doesn't eat the cap alive. Claxton's a great short-term answer. He's mobile, efficient, and fits the pick-and-roll game perfectly. Either one moves the needle, but doing nothing? That's not an option. Not when the defense is bleeding points and the glass belongs to the other team. This isn't just about stats on a sheet. It's about setting the foundation for a team that can contend. Right now, the Lakers have Luka and a whole lot of question marks. It's time to turn one of those into an exclamation point, and it starts at center. But second, they need defensive wings. The Lakers finished the season with a defensive rating of 115.3, which ranked 22nd in the league. Opponents, though, shot 38.1% from 3 against them. That's 5th worst. This isn't just a small problem, it's a total meltdown on the perimeter. Teams were lighting them up from deep like it was a practice gym, and that starts with the wings. Against Minnesota in the playoffs, Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards combined for nearly 49 points per game, and they did it on over 51% shooting. McDaniels is 6'9". Edwards is 6'6". Meanwhile, the Lakers threw out Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, both under 6'6", as their backcourt defense. That's like sending chihuahuas into a bear cave. Cam Reddish did give them a temporary boost. In a late season win, he held Paul George to just 9 points on 3 for 12 shooting. But the key word here is temporary. Cam's consistency makes a magic 8 ball look reliable. You can't trust that in a playoff series. The bench, practically invisible. They were 28th in bench scoring at just over 24 points a game. Their bench net rating was negative 4.2. That's bottom 4 in the entire league. In the playoffs, JJ shortened the rotation to 7 players. That's not a strategy, that's a cry for help. Kleber, Vincent, and Hachimura combined for 18.3 points per game on under 40% shooting. That's not a bench, that's 3 people on a coffee break. LeBron James is 40, Luka is 26, and they both averaged over 39 minutes per game in the postseason. That's how thin this roster was. You've got 2 All-NBA talents logging absurd minutes because nobody else can keep the ship afloat for even 10 minutes. So, let's talk actual solutions. First up is Bruce Brown, 8.1 points, 4.2 rebounds, 2 assists, and over 1 steal per game. He's got playoff pedigree, played a key role for Denver's championship team, and he brings real defensive versatility. He's projected to cost between $8 and $10 million per year. That's right, in the Lakers taxpayer mid-level exception range. Next is Matisse Thybulle. He averaged just under 7 points per game, but more importantly, he had over 2 steals per game and shot 36% from 3. He ranked first in deflections per 36 minutes and second in steal rate. That's elite defensive activity. The trade cost is Jard Vanderbilt and a 2nd-round pick in 2031. That's practically stealing talent. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is another option. 9 points per game, over 3 rebounds, and he shot 38% from deep. But the big draw is his 41% shooting from the corner. He can defend 1 through 3, and he's got the tools to slide into a playoff rotation. He'll probably command the full mid-level exception, around $12 million. DeAndre Hunter is a pricier option at $21.7 million, but his two-way impact is undeniable. He averaged over 14 points and almost 5 rebounds, hit nearly 39% from 3, and allowed just 0.82 points per possession in isolation. That's top 15% among all wing. You want someone to guard the Bookers and the Edwardses of the world? This is your guy. The cost? Hachimura, Vincent, and a 2nd-round pick. And the thing is, they've been great this whole season. And you can make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Personally, I've been using Factor for the past few weeks, and honestly, it's changed everything. No more stressing over what to cook or cleaning up after. Just heat, eat, and go. Especially while watching the playoffs, it makes everything so easy. The shredded chicken taco bowl, fire. The garlic herb salmon, better than anything I've ever made at home. Instead of being stuck in the kitchen, I've been spending more time outside and hitting the gym. And Factor fits right into that routine. And like I said, with the playoffs on too, you don't gotta stress about missing the game. With 45 weekly options, I can switch it up constantly. Whether I'm aiming for high protein or just keeping it light, they've got it all. Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, even veggie meals. Plus, they've got snacks and desserts that don't ruin your goals. I've been loving their smoothies and those peanut butter energy bites. I'm hooked. So why not savor more this summer? Let Factor take care of the meals so you can enjoy more of everything else. Get started at factormeals.com/modernjam50off and use code ModernJam50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code ModernJam50off at factormeals.com/ModernJam50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Thank you, Factor. Gary Trent Jr. is another free agent to consider. He put up 11 points per game, had over 1 steal, and shot over 42% from 3. He ranked 3rd in points per possession on spot-ups during the playoff. He's a sniper. At $7 to $9 million per year, that's a strong fit for a bench in desperate need of juice. Now, the Lakers do have some in-house options too. Starting Jard Vanderbilt at small forward could change a lot. He's 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. He's the best point of attack defender on the roster. Problem was, he missed most of the season with injuries. But when he and Cam Reddish started together, the Lakers' defensive rating improved to 108.9 over a 6-game sample. That's not a fluke. That's what happens when you put size and defense on the floor. It also lets LeBron guard weaker offensive players, which helps him conserve energy over the season. Backup playmaker is another need. Tyus Jones is a free agent. He averaged just over 10 points and nearly 7 assists with only 1.3 turnovers. That's surgical. He doesn't make mistakes, and he keeps the offense moving. And what about Dalton Knecht? The rookie is 6'6" and shot nearly 39% from 3 in limited minutes. He could grow into a reliable 3-and-D wing with more reps. The potential is there. They just need to give him opportunities instead of burning out Luka and LeBron every night. Now, none of these moves happen in a vacuum. The Lakers are $36 million over the cap. That limits their tools. They've got the taxpayer mid-level exception at $5.7 million. That's enough to go after someone like Bruce Brown or Gary Trent Jr. They can also use trades. Pairing Hachimura's $18 million with Vincent's $11.5 gives them nearly $30 million in matching salary. That's how you go get someone like Hunter or Thibault. Best approach? Start by re-signing Dorian Finney-Smith if he opts out. He's got the length, the defensive chops, and the versatility to help right away. If he stays, that's a huge win. Then trade for DeAndre Hunter. You get a true two-way wing who can knock down shots and defend in space. That alone changes the ceiling of this team. Use the mid-level on Bruce Brown. He brings playoff toughness, defensive grit, and just enough scoring to help the second unit survive. And finally, start Vanderbilt and Reddish on the wings. Go big, go defensive, and give Luka the support he needs without running LeBron into the ground. If they don't make these changes, nothing's going to change. They'll keep getting torched by elite wings in the West, whether it's Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker. This team needs more defense and depth on the perimeter, and they need it now. But then third, the contract situations. LeBron James holds a $52.6 million player option for the 2025 season. If he opts out, he's eligible for a 2-year, $111 million extension. He's still producing at an elite level, over 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, while shooting 54% from the field and a career-high 41% from deep. His player efficiency rating sits at 24.9, which places him in the top 15 in the league. He generated 8.3 win shares, and the team was 8.1 points worse per 100 possessions without him on the floor. That's not just still got it territory, that's top-tier production. If he opts in, the Lakers' payroll balloons to $178 million, which pushes them above the $171 million luxury tax threshold. That means they lose flexibility and start approaching second apron penalties fast. But if he opts out and re-signs for a slightly smaller amount, say 2 years at $100 million, they can backload or front-load the contract to reduce cap pressure short-term. That buys them time and breathing room. LeBron's presence on the roster guarantees playoff contention and is worth over $100 million annually in revenue from playoff games, according to Forbes. If the Lakers want to stay in the hunt, locking LeBron into a new deal with a slightly friendlier structure is a top priority, and the timing matters. His option deadline is June 29th. That affects every other move the front office might make. Draft decisions, trades, free agency, all of it happens under the pressure of not knowing what LeBron will do. So the sooner they resolve it, the better. The optimal move is simple. LeBron opts out and re-signs for 2 years at $100 million. Then the Lakers can access the full non-taxpayer mid-level exception worth $12.9 million and the biannual exception at $4.7 million. That opens up actual paths to improve the roster. Now let's talk about Dorian Finney-Smith. He's got a $15.4 million player option for next season. He's exactly what they need. A legit 3-and-D wing. He's a career 37.5% shooter from deep on 5 attempts per game. Catch and shoot threes, 39.1%. That's efficient spacing for LeBron's drive and kick game. Defensively, he brings impact. His defensive Raptor rating is plus 2.1, which places him in the top 10% of all forwards. He held opponents to just over 42% shooting when defending them direct. The Lakers were 25th in three-point shooting last season at 34.8%. They were 18th in defensive efficiency. Finney-Smith addresses both issues in one signing, and if he opts in, that $15.4 million becomes a perfectly tradable number. It gives them options mid-season. If he opts out, things get harder. The Lakers would then need to use their mid-level exception or execute a sign and trade to keep him. That hard caps the team at $178 million. If he opts in, they keep flexibility and a key rotation player on a great value contract. Finney-Smith at 15, that's a steal in this market. He defends, he hits threes, And he doesn't need touches. That's exactly the kind of player this roster needs more of. The larger picture is more complicated. They're right up against that $178 million mark that triggers the second apron at $189.5 million. That apron brings all kinds of roster building restrictions, no aggregation of contracts and trades, no sign and trades, no mid-season additions. So they can't cross it unless they want to lose most of their tool. Step 1. Extend LeBron in a way that trims the 2025 cap hit. Step 2. Retain Finney Smith to patch the wing defense and help the team stretch the floor. Step 3. Move Gabe Vincent's $11 million expiring deal in a trade. Use that contract to bring in a backup center, someone like Daniel Gafford, who provides vertical spacing and rim protection off the bench. That solves two of their biggest problems in one move. The bottom line is clear. The Lakers need to resolve LeBron's and Finney Smith's situations now. LeBron's age 40 season is coming up, and he's still putting up elite production. But every year counts. You can't waste a season because you fumbled contract timing. Fixing the three-point shooting is non-negotiable. They were bottom 6 in the league last year. You don't survive in this league shooting under 35% from deep. Finney Smith's nearly 40% catch-and-shoot rate solves that. And on defense, this team hasn't been the same since the 2020 title run. That year, they were a top 3 defense. Now they're hovering near the bottom third. That's unacceptable when you've got LeBron and Luka healthy. Getting back to form means adding smart defenders who don't need the ball. Finney Smith checks that box. The Lakers have to stay under that second apron to keep flexibility. That means no wild overpays, no careless signings, and no wasting cap space on fringe players. Bringing Finney Smith back at $15 million and giving LeBron a restructured 2-year deal is how you keep this core alive without getting boxed in by the new CBA. The consequences for failing are massive. Miss the playoffs again, and you lose around $50 million in revenue, not to mention public pressure to blow it all up. That's the cost of indecision. That's the cost of waiting too long to act. Data-driven decisions have to guide every move from here. There's no more room for vibes. It's numbers, impact, and fit. And right now, resolving these 2 contracts sets the table for everything else. But then fourth, there's the Reeves situation. Austin Reeves is on a 4-year deal worth just under $54 million, signed in 2023. For the 2025 season, he's set to earn just under $13 million, which takes up a little over 9% of the salary cap. That's a solid value for what he's producing right now. But here's the catch. He's eligible for an extension that would pay him up to $89.2 million over 4 years, starting at just under $20 million in the 2026 season. And based on the numbers, it's pretty clear he's not going to take it. Reeves just put up 20.2 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.5 rebounds per game. That's not just solid. Those are numbers that place him among the top third options in the league. Advanced projections say he could be worth anywhere from 27 to 30 million per year. The extension the Lakers can offer under the current rules tops out at an average of 22.3 million. It's just not competitive. If he waits until free agency in 2026 and opts out, he could command a deal worth over 120 million across 4 years. At age 28, that would be his best shot at a major payday, and everyone around the league knows it. He already gave the Lakers a discount with his current deal, and expecting him to take another one would be like ordering a steak dinner and tipping in coupon. It's not happening. So what does that mean for the front office? They've got 3 options, and none of them are perfect. The first one is simple. Offer the extension anyway. Lock him in early and hope that the stability appeals to him. The problem? It probably won't. This offer undervalues him based on what he's producing, and locking in a subpar number could actually create some locker room tension. When players start outperforming their deals, and everyone knows it, that gets messy fast. The second option is to wait. Let him play out the contract and deal with free agency in 2026. That gives them flexibility next summer and lets them use his salary in trades in the meantime. But the risk is obvious. He could walk for nothing. Teams like Orlando or San Antonio will have cap space, need a guard, and won't blink at throwing 30+ million at him. If Reeves walks and the Lakers get nothing, that's a massive loss of value. So that leaves option 3, which also happens to be the most practical. Trade him now. His current salary is just under $13 million. That's a very attractive number for teams looking to add talent without gutting their cap. You can get a lot for that kind of production at that price. There's also the fit issue. Defensively, Reeves was exposed in the playoffs. Teams targeted him consistently. Next to Luka, who already needs coverage from elite defenders, Reeves doesn't bring enough resistance. You can't have 2 guards out there who can't handle elite perimeter scorers. Luka needs guys around him who can cover his weak spots. Reeves doesn't do that, but that contract, again, just under $13 million, makes him a perfect trade piece. What this team needs is balance. They need wings who can hit threes and defend. They need rim protection off the bench. They don't need another offensive guard who can't handle switches on defense. Best case scenario, you package Reeves and a pick and land 2 legit rotation players, a 3-and-D wing and a backup center. That's the kind of move that rounds out the roster. That's how you build around Luka and LeBron without betting the entire house on star, because this team already has the stars. If they extend Reeves, that leaves little room for another max player and limits mid-level exception usage. It's not just about what Reeves brings, it's about the opportunity cost. If you pay him, you're taking yourself out of other options. If you trade him, you free up $13 million in salary next summer. That's enough to open access to the full mid-level exception, which is worth nearly $13 million on its own. That gives you more tools to work with and lets you build out the bench and rotation around Luka's game. It's also important to think about timing. Reeves is at peak value right now. He's coming off a breakout season, he's on a good contract, and he's healthy. If you wait, his value only drops as the contract gets shorter, and other teams know he's not staying long-term. Move him now, and you get maximum return. The Lakers are in a tight window. Luka's in his prime, but you can't waste time figuring out what fits. You have to know what works. Reeves is a great player, but he's not a perfect fit for this core. Trading him now lets you tailor the roster to Luka's strengths, spacing, defense, and depth. You keep the offense flowing through Luka and LeBron without having to hide multiple players on defense. That's how you survive in the playoffs. You could even explore deals that bring back a future first-rounder. Not the most exciting return, but valuable in a trade down the line sense. It also gives the team more ammo for bigger swings if the opportunity comes up. And look, if no deal materializes that makes sense this offseason, fine. You keep him through 2025, maybe dangle him at the trade deadline when teams are desperate. But the goal should still be the same. Move him before he walks for nothing. That's asset management 101. You cannot let a player of this caliber and value leave the team without compensation. Not when his current deal makes him one of the best value contracts in the league. Use that. Take advantage of that. Flip it into pieces that help now and protect later. Bottom line, Reeves won't take the extension. The numbers say it's a bad deal for him. His defensive fit next to Luka is shaky at best. The smart move is to trade him before his value dips or he walks entirely. Package him with picks and get back elite role players who fit this roster's needs. If that's not on the table right now, hold him through next season and reassess at the deadline. But standing still is the worst move of all. This team doesn't have years to waste. Every decision has to make Luka's life easier, not harder. Reeves is a great player, but not the right one for this build. Time to move. But lastly, remember, Luka is the future. Luka is the centerpiece of this team now, and he's not just good. He's a franchise-altering engine. His on-off net rating sits at +12, which is flat out absurd. But defensively, he's a -1.3 in defensive Raptor. And that's not something you can pretend doesn't exist. The Lakers' entire approach from this point forward has to balance two things: maximizing Luka's prime window and preserving future flexibility. You're building for both now and next. And that means threading the needle between aggressive trades and cap-savvy restraint. Start with the expiring contracts. Rui Hachimura's $18.3 million, Gabe Vincent's $11.5 million, and Maxi Kleber's $11 million non-guaranteed. All that is usable capital. That's $40+ million in salary matching you can roll into actual pieces that will stick around. The goal is to turn those short-term deals into players aged 25 to 28 with at least 3 years of team control. No rentals, no short-term stunts. If someone's not part of the Luka era, don't waste the resources. Prioritize defense and shooting. Look for wings who shoot 37% or better from 3 and can switch defensively. That's non-negotiable. Luka doesn't need a bunch of guys trying to ISO or soak up usage. He needs partners who understand their roles and do it efficiently. A wing like Dorian Finney-Smith fits that mold. Someone who defends, hits threes, and plays smart basketball without needing the ball. Next, get a rim protector. They need a mobile 5, someone who can protect the rim, clean the glass, and finish lobs. Think Daniel Gafford or Jarrett Allen, someone with years left on their deal who isn't a one-year stopgap. And then there's the backup playmaker. LeBron is still effective, but at 40, he cannot be the only secondary creator. Luka's usage is already sky high. If you run every single possession through him, you burn him out by April. They need a low-usage guard who averages high assists and low turnovers. Tyus Jones is the textbook version of this. If not him, look for someone who can run the second unit without tanking efficiency or demanding touches. Now, on the contract front, LeBron has to be handled smartly. A 2-year deal with declining salary structure is the move. It keeps the title window open, keeps the locker room stable, but doesn't destroy 2026 cap flexibility. The same goes for Finney Smith. If he opts out, you re-sign him for 3 years at $14 to $16 million annually. That's value for what he brings, and it gives you a defensive backbone next to Luka. But here's the thing, no overpaying, none. That's how this team got stuck with bloated deals in the past. Do not hand out $20 million to a mid-tier starter who will be untradeable by year 2. If the market pushes too high, let the player walk. Cap space is more valuable than a ninth man, making more than Luka's backup center. That's also where the exceptions come in. The non-taxpayer mid-level exception, worth $12.9 million, should be used on one high-impact role player, someone who can defend, shoot, or stabilize the offense. Think quality over quantity. Don't spend this on a guy you have to talk yourself into liking, and the biannual exception at $4.7 million, that's your slot for a specialist. Veteran shooter, defensive stopper, whatever. It should fill a very specific hole. Looking further ahead, the 2026 free agency period is your window. If LeBron's deal expires that summer, the Lakers could have around $45 million in cap space. That's max contract territory. You preserve that space at all costs. No multi-year deals for 31-year-old guards. No long-term commitments to maybe if everything breaks right types. Keep the books clean. And by then, you make your play for a co-star. Luka needs a second foundational piece. Whether it's an all-NBA wing or an elite two-way big, that's where you go hunting. The right fit changes the entire timeline. But to be in position for that, you cannot screw up the next 2 summers. You also have to protect your draft capital. The 2031 unprotected first rounder is your only movable pick under Stepien rule limitations. If you use it, make sure it's going toward a proven, young player with years of team control. Do not spend it on short-term guys who get played off the floor in the playoffs. That pick is too valuable to waste on a B- solution. Meanwhile, develop what you've got. Dalton Connect is the clear example. He's 23, shoots nearly 39% from deep, and has an NBA-ready scoring package. No, he won't lock anyone down on defense, but if you give him real minutes, 18 to 20 a night, he can grow into a scoring threat off the bench. That's a huge asset on a rookie contract. Draft and develop has to be part of the plan. No more treating picks like they're disposable. No more packaging young players just to dump salary. If someone's got a defined role and upside, you give them reps. It's how you stay flexible, build internally, and avoid relying solely on veterans. This entire model only works if you avoid the typical win-now traps. Don't trade picks beyond 2031. Don't tie up future flexibility for marginal gains today. Don't panic and overpay just to make headline. Build smart, not loud. The plan in numbers is simple. Flip over $40 million in expiring salary into multi-year fits. Keep LeBron at a manageable number. Keep Dorian Finney-Smith at value. Use exceptions with intention. Hold on to the 2031 first until a real difference maker becomes available. Develop Connect. Draft responsibly. Maintain cap space in 2026 to sign a co-star in Luka's prime. By 2024, you're aiming for a core of Luka, LeBron, and 2 to 3 long-term starters acquired through trade. Your bench is bolstered by the mid-level exception signing, Finney-Smith, and Connect. That's your playoff rotation. In 2025, you reassess LeBron. If he's still producing, maybe you extend. If not, you let the deal expire and pocket the cap space. Either way, you keep Connect developing, maybe add another rookie from the draft, and continue to clean the books. By 2026, it's go time. You target an all-NBA talent to partner with Luka. You still have your rotation, you've got the space, and hopefully, you've built a reputation as a destination. That's how you enter the second half of Luka's prime, with a contending roster, cap flexibility, and a sustainable model. This plan works because it's balanced. You contend now, but you don't sabotage your future. You build around Luka's strengths, patch his weaknesses, and stay ready for the next big move. You don't throw picks away. You don't tie yourself to bad money. You let Luka's gravity work for you and structure the roster to enhance it. The verdict is clear. Trade expiring deals now for youth and control. Use exceptions wisely. Re-sign LeBron and Finney-Smith smartly. Protect cap space and draft capital. Build in a way that gives Luka not just a team to carry, but one that can actually carry him when it counts. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this playoffs. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.